All right, so we got to talk about the freak show that is Eamon Thompson, and boy, oh boy, is he a freak show.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so as you guys know, I'm going through every single player that's going to be in the first round and second round, maybe even some undrafted players. We're gonna take a look at quite a few people, right? So we're gonna go ahead and start with Eamon Thompson. But before we do, if you guys want to support the channel, do not click the link in the description. There's a link in the description that says clanthemerchfan.com. Don't click it, okay? There's a lot of dope things there, and I don't think you're ready for it. So do not click that link in the description. But Eamon Thompson, all right, let's go ahead and just dive straight into it, okay? As I always do, we're gonna look at statistics, and then I'm gonna give you my overall thoughts about him based on what I've seen, and then we'll look at scouting live and see what they have to say about the pros and cons and whether or not I agree with it. So let's dive straight into boom, the stats. And boy, oh boy, if you guys don't know, the reason why this looks so strange is like, why does this website look strange? It's because he plays for Overtime Elite, or in the Overtime Elite League. If you guys don't know anything about Overtime Elite, that was actually created by the NBA for young players. And I think that this is just their second season. So very young league, very a new league. And, you know, we're still kind of experimenting to see whether or not, or the NBA is experimenting to see whether or not it is successful. But thus far, it's seen a little success. Our boy, at least I'm a Spurs fan, so Dominic Barlow, he came from Overtime Elite. I will say this, though. This is strange. Okay, there's some things here that's very strange that I want to bring up. But before we do that, it's in the stats, and we'll get there in a minute. So we'll get there in a jiffy. So first and foremost, how many points is he averaging? He's averaging 16.4 points per game. He's averaging 5.9 assists. He's at, and it's so weird how I got to do all this. 5.9 rebounds. So basically 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, on 27 minutes per game. And one thing that I want to see in particular that we're going to talk about is see field goal percentage, which is 56% field goal percentage, and then 3-point percentage, which a lot of people care about, 25% for the season. Not great. But any impressions that I have of these stats, well, there's one thing in particular that stands out, and that is the fact of his turnover ratio. 3.2 turnovers per game. And I'll tell you why that's a big deal, and I'll tell you why I do have an issue with that. But first and foremost, let's talk about the positives of this guy. So I think most people will say this, all right, is that the biggest positive, or one of the bigger positives of his game, is his athletic ability. I mean, his first step is absolutely ridiculous. It is deadly how fast he is and how athletic he is as a guard. It is incredible to watch. He is so quick. And another thing too is he doesn't have that whole, you guys know last season I wasn't crazy about Kendall Brown going into the draft, and Kendall Brown was kind of known as an athletic player that's good in transition, but he's more than that. He's really good in the half court as well when it comes to utilizing his athletic ability. So athletics, that's the one thing that everyone kind of points at, and that's the thing that they look at highlights and they say, oh my God, he's incredible. But one thing that I think is more impressive than his athletic ability is his playmaking ability, because I mean, it's great and dandy to have those tools to be able to be a high flyer and have a explosive first step, but there's a totally different thing when you can decision make pretty quickly on the playmaking end. Is he always great at it? Not necessarily, but from what I've seen, he is really good at finding cutters. He's really good on the pick and roll, and he will be perfect for any team that has a plethora of shooters because he's going to find you. He can be pretty dangerous in that regard, you know, kind of like I'm not saying he is, okay, but similar to LeBron, in which he's really hard to stop around the rim. Really great finisher. And if you close in on him, it's not like he's just going to force it. He's going to find the open man. And that's stupid impressive, I think. And just great touch around the basket, great playmaking, great athletic ability. And he definitely deserves to go pretty early in the first round. Now, with that being said, okay, I got a few hangups. There's a few things that I don't care for, and it worries me quite a bit. And I brought this up, but this right here, these turnovers, that's not great. And the reason being is, if this was college, that would be one thing. I would sit back and say, It's not great, it's not good, but at the same time, hey, what are you gonna do? He can improve that, and I think he can still improve it here. But the fact that it's the overtime elite league, if you guys, you should know a little bit about the overtime elite. But I brought up some of it before or earlier, but overtime elite is reserved for really young players. I think that the youngest is like 17. It's usually like 17 to 19. So it's like really young players that's in overtime elite. So the fact that on that level, and I'm not saying they can't ball, okay, but the fact on that level he's averaging so many turnovers is not good. It is not good. So he's definitely gonna he's gonna need to hone in on that just a little bit. Another thing I noticed too is he can be a little careless with the ball. So sometimes he can over dribble. And it's a matter of most of the time trying to find the open guy, but I have seen him be a little too fancy and he just lose the ball, and it's not a beautiful thing to see. Another thing as well, and this is something that has me optimistic, but then at the same time it's a little concerning, is his defense. So he is stupid athletic. He can move around the court, at ease, but on the defensive end, there's a little bit of, and this might be a really harsh word, but a little bit of laziness. His fundamentals aren't necessarily there. He's continuously going for the steal. And I guess rightfully so. If we look here at the steals, let's go back. We look at steals, I think he averaged about 2, right? Yeah, 2.3 steals per game. If it was per 40, it would be 3 steals per game. So he gets steals basically every game. Well, yeah, no, not basically. Every single game he gets a steal. But at the same time, it comes down to being a good or decent on-ball defender. And I don't really think he's that disciplined defensively. He just takes too many chances. It's kind of ugly at times. I'll just be honest. Also, another thing too is he defends very upright, so he doesn't get in a lower stance. And oftentimes someone gets past him, he's just swiping for the ball. So it's not beautiful. It's things that you can work on, and it has me optimistic because of his athletic ability, and he has the capability with his length and everything to be a pretty good defender. So hopefully he can be that. But as it stands right now, it's just not a beautiful thing to see. So the two things that kind of stand out to me for as far as cons is the fact that he just dribbles a little too much and it causes turnovers, and in that level of the league that he's in, that's not great to see. And then defensively, he lacks a little bit. But I'm telling you, on the offensive end, when it comes to his athletic ability and when it comes to his passing ability, is really impressive. Oh, and one more thing. Okay, this is another con. I'm sorry. I seem mean. I'm trying not to be. I'm just being honest. Okay, shooting is god awful. It is dreadful. Okay, it is terrible. Can it improve? Yeah, sure, of course it can. But guys play way off of him. It's just not great to see. I think he's shooting at a 33% clip with open catch and shoot opportunities. Yeah, so it's not great. Okay, he's really gonna have to work on that once he gets to the league, because that is just not gonna fly. Like I said, great finisher, so that helps him quite a bit. Super fast, super athletic, and he can find the open guy, so that's all gonna help him. But at the end of the day, in the NBA, guys will figure you out, and you're gonna have to be able to shoot those shots. And as good as he is on the pick and roll, you don't want guys going under on the pick and roll like every single time. And that's kind of the position that he's in right now, even at the league that he was playing in. So we'll see. But he's gonna have to improve his shooting ability. So anyways, let's go to NBA Scouting Live and let's see what they have to say and see if I agree or disagree. So I have not, like always, I haven't read any of this. This is my first time seeing it, so let's see what it has to say. So solid scorer off the dribble, yes. Excels at scoring on off-ball motion play. They say that about everyone. Decent playmaker, yes, we said that. Good rebounder. I didn't bring that up, but yeah, obviously 6 rebounds per game. Solid defender that can get steals and blocks. He can get steals and he can get blocks because his athletic ability. I don't know if I'll go as far as to say he's a solid defender. That's just me. Gifted athlete, sure. Good motor, sure. Especially on the offensive end. Cons, needs to improve his shooting. Yes. Needs to improve his free throw shooting. Actually, we didn't look at that. Can we go back, please? Go back. All right, let's see. throw percentage is 65.6%. Okay, can I say this? This is one thing too that I think bring up that should give a little bit more hope that he can be a better scorer or shooter. That is, he's pretty good around the rim, and as you guys know, when it comes to like floaters and things of that nature, that actually is a good indicator that you have good touch, and therefore you can become a better shooter. I mean, I even think about my Spurs with Jeremy Sohan. He is a far better shooter as of late than he was earlier in the season. And one thing that I brought up with him before he even got to San Antonio was the fact that he's really good around the rim, and he can he's really good at floaters. So that touch is really important when you're talking about, can someone be a good shooter one day? I'm not saying Jeremy Sohan is going to be phenomenal or nothing like that, but he can be a serviceable shooter given some time. All right, moving on. Can display spotty shot selection? Sure, I don't think I'll argue that one. Can tend to over dribble into traffic. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, he's very loose with the ball at times, man. Just trying to do too much. I don't know if it's trying to get a highlight reel. I'm not 100% sure, but he definitely just does way too much in simple situations. But then again, maybe it's a situation in which he's just so above the elite, league, to the point where he's trying to stand out. Maybe that's the case, but I just know in the NBA it's not gonna fly. But here we go. Which can lead to turnovers? Yes. Can play too wildly on offense? Yes, we brought that up. Can have lapses defensively? Yeah, a lot of lapses defensively. Like I said, athletic ability is there, so defensively, obviously he can get better. But man, oh man, I think it's a little bit of, it's gonna sound rude, but a little bit of laziness defensively. Thompson is a very athletic, energetic point forward that could be one of the best prospects to watch next year. He thrives at attacking the hoop to score and get assists, and he is a high flyer that can make impressively athletic plays on both ends of the floor. He will need to improve his jump shot, but he is very talented prospect that can be likely lottery pick he will be a lottery pick. But good stuff, nice stuff. This is all the way back in near the beginning of March. I wonder if there's anything they would update. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Those are my thoughts on him. Overall, I really do like him as a prospect. I think he's going to be a very good player in the NBA. And my only hang up is just those few things where he's just doing too much offensively at times. Defense is not there, and his shooting has to improve tremendously. And it's not just 3-point shooting, it's mid-range shooting as well. So we'll see. But everything else, I mean, he got some things that you just can't teach. That athletic ability, his basketball IQ, which I do believe he has a pretty high basketball IQ. It's just some things that it comes pretty natural to him. So I think he's going to be pretty doggone good. But anyways, I'll give it to you guys later. You want to support the channel, claimthemerchfan.com, or become a patron and YouTube member, only $2 a month. Until next time, bye.